being under guardianship takes away all of someone's basic rights. It takes away their ability to make decisions regarding where they live, where they work, education, services, medical decisions, financial decisions. So it's a really extreme legal mechanism that takes away somebody's ability to determine the course of their own life.
I remember the school officials, like special ed teachers and doctors, saying that she should take guardianship to help me with stuff and so she can talk to doctors. I didn't know much except it sounded like, well, she would be able to still help me when I became an adult. And that the school made it sound like it was a necessary thing.
A lot of the clients that we work with now that have maybe been under guardianship for years or decades will tell us, I didn't have an attorney originally, and I didn't really know what I was agreeing to. I didn't really know the scope of the rights that I was giving up.
We have a system currently where a guardian is assigned, and then that's it until the person who has the guardian might voice and say that they don't want to have a guardian anymore. And I think that that's a really unfair system because oftentimes people's parents might be their guardian and they don't want to hurt their feelings.
And when it came down to, also with guardianship, when it came down to it, I'm like, I don't want to have you on my bank account. I don't want you on my lease. But it wasn't, and a phrase I've used before is, it was not out of disrespect, it was out of responsibility.
The doctors were sometimes only willing to talk to my mother and not talk to me. And so it seemed like they left things largely up to her. My money wasn't being well managed, and she chose to abandon our apartment, and it was in Ellsworth at the time, and then a lot of my property was ultimately disposed of.
Needing support does not mean a guardian is needed. We have plenty of clients who receive all sorts of services as people with disabilities. Case management, they might live in a group home, they might receive in-home supports, they might receive community supports. And we have terminated guardianships for people that receive support round the clock. Support does not mean you can't make decisions about your own life.
Knowing that I wanted my life to be better, and I didn't want things to be so unstable. I wasn't sure how I could do except knowing that she was under guardianship and contact the court people to tell them that things weren't going well. It took me a few years to work my way through the guardianship system and become an independent person.
I had a hard time getting it. It took me a long time to get my guardianship. It was not easy.
Here at Disability Rights Maine, we represent people regularly in terminating the guardianships, and it can be difficult for us to help someone do that, and we have a lot of experience and we're attorneys. So it can be quite a process to terminate guardianship.
Supported decision-making is a good option. Well, it's an informal system where you can ask friends or family of your choosing for advice when you need it.
So if I screwed up, if I made a mistake, I needed to own it myself. So knowing that, and knowing that I wanted guardianship, that was a big thing where I knew I had their support. I knew I had family to rely on.
A person has a sort of team of supporters around them. That could be family, that could be friends, that could be service providers, doctors, anybody that's in that person's life that they choose to help support them in making decisions about their own life. It's not something that goes through a court. It's not something that has to be approved by anyone. It's a concept that we all kind of use in our lives all the time. There are legal things that you can put into place that are less restrictive than guardianship. One is called a power of attorney. That's a document that someone signs that can share decision-making ability with another person. But if I want to give someone that I know and trust, a spouse for instance, the ability to speak with my doctor or get know some things about my medical situation, I can sign a release with my doctor that will allow someone that I trust to be able to access that information.
When you're restricting people's rights like guardianship does, the system should have checks and balances to check and make sure that that's still something that needs to happen. I know that Cindy's very passionate about that topic and how supported decision-making was the right fit for her. And when she learned about that model, it changed everything for her. And so she's the self-advocate that's really leading to make sure that that guardianship reform happens.
It's been going quite well. There ain't much difference. You can still gain support from family in your community and still make decisions for yourself.